two NASA astronauts. I want to say her name right. Sunita Williams and Barry Butch Wilmore found themselves stranded aboard the International Space Station because of malfunctioning Boeing Starliner spacecraft. Shout out to Boeing, guys. They're not only trying to kill you on Earth.
2 for 2. 2 for 2.
They're going into
above
space.
and beyond.
Above and
This is going to be a really rough segment for all of our fans who don't actually believe in outer space.
Oh yeah.
So you can go ahead and disregard Vinny right off the bat if you don't believe in
They're
it.
floating
for
around.
those of us who do believe that outer space actually exists,
Yeah,
there's people
for you
stuck
guys,
in.
for these
On the
people,
fence on that one.
these guys are underwater, apparently floating around. But whatever. So
Wherever the ISS is, they're stuck in it.
yeah, exactly. You figure that one out yourself. So the Starliner was once to believe. Check this out. It was once believed to be a new era in American spaceflight. It has been plagued with technical issues since the inception. Brandon, if you're gonna go on something and they're like, yeah, the one that you're going on is plagued with issues, are you going into outer space with it?
First of all, going on a spaceship or going on a submarine is one of the last things I would ever do, and let alone being plagued. So,
It's like what? I don't know, bro. And like, dude, they have Brandon, sit up. Malfunctioning thrusters and a leaky helium tank have prevented the spacecraft from returning to Earth. So engineers back here from NASA are working on the diagnosis to fix the problem. They're using a replica test engine that they think they've pinpointed the root cause. But the messed up thing is, additional time is needed for the solution to be implemented in space. Now, the prolonged stay has forced NASA to consider alternative options. One possibility, guys, Elon Musk to the rescue. They're gonna utilize SpaceX Dragon. I mean, dude, there's more stuff up there from Elon. Well, Rob, you have that look.
It's very interesting that the International Space Station is only 254 miles from Earth. Do you understand that the International Space Station is actually 2,380,855 miles away from the moon? So you're telling me in the 60s, we were able to travel the entire distance from not only to the space station, but to the moon. Yeah. But now we can't go up 300 miles. We were able to travel 300,000 miles. And now 300 miles is an issue for us.
think about how close that's like.
That's interesting.
I know.
Brandon, that's like here to Tampa.
Yeah, exactly. What is it like from New York to California? That's like 1,000 miles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a third of the
Wait,
U.S.
from New York to where?
New York to California, that's like
New York to
1,000
Cali's-
miles.
No, it's well, I think it's 3,200. And that's how
it?
much, Cal? I think it's like
Is it
3,000.
3,000?
Yeah,
That's even worse then.
2,918 miles. Wow, Kelly for the win.
Kelly.
You beat the computer.
Kelly!
How is that even possible? Wow, human beats AI for the first time.
Chat GBT Kelly.
Send her there immediately.
Yeah,
Save the
Kelly.
astronauts.
But no, Rob, you make a great point. It's like it's not far. But by the way, and you would think at this point, with all the tragedy that we've happened, with all these space rockets and explosions and Challenger, like helium tank leakage, malfunctions with it's like what are we doing? And by the way, it's Boeing. Like, can Boeing do anything right? Like, can we be honest with each other?
They're a fucking parasite to the taxpayer. That's what they are. No, like a third of their revenue comes from the military-industrial complex spending. So they get free money to build the stuff, and they became a monopoly after the 90s when they stopped spending more money on the military stuff, consolidated from 200 companies to 5 companies. So they don't have to be held accountable. They don't have competition, so they don't have to worry about somebody else being better than them. And this is the result.
And guess what? If anybody speaks up, those people get in their car and they shoot themselves.
They're really good at that.
They
They're
kill
really-
them.
they're
Yeah.
really
Oh
good
God.
at
It's like
whistleblowers.
you say the truth and you go, you know what? I've done what I need to do on this earth. I'm going up.
Well, all the
God.
whistleblowers that keep dropping, that's what's going to happen when you're telling everybody that one of the biggest defense contractors in the world is building space shuttles out of Lego bricks. Like, they send astronauts up there like, why would you as an astronaut get onto a thing that had a Boeing logo on it when you've seen planes that have Boeing logos on them falling out of the sky?
Yeah.
Because they're falling apart and can't keep the doors on.
Who's on the chat right now? Is it Amy?
Oh, yeah. No. I'm
Oh,
on
are
the
you?
chat.
Can you do me a
I'm-
favor? Run a poll. Oh, run a poll. Okay,
Chat.
run a poll.
All
Would you
right.
rather go to space on a Boeing or an Elon Musk spacecraft?
All right.
I'm genuinely, because some people, I guarantee you, Rob, it's gonna be.
Well, we need to start a baseline. For our audience, it should be, is there a space? Yes or no? And then we decide what vehicle we use to get there.
I love our guess what? Say what you want, but our audience, I love you guys. They're skeptical, and they should be. You don't trust everybody just off their freaking word. After that movie I saw with Pat, what was it? Fly Me to the Moon?
Yeah.
Horrible movie. They're like, they showed it that the CIA built a fake stage, and then you didn't know, were they really on it? Were they not? But what were you gonna say, Connor?
Well, I was going to say, like, if space exists, would you go? Or, like, does space exist? If it exists, would you go if you would go, would you get on Boeing or a Tesla SpaceX ship, or would you get on one that I built in my garage out of Legos?
Dude,
All right, it's already running 98%. And
Who's the
Don't
2%?
believe
I know
Space?
they have a death wish.
98% doesn't believe it's space? Or
No,
is
that's
it-
that's the Musk Boeing.
No, if I had to guess,
Damn it.
if I had to guess, Robbie, it'd be our audience would be 38%. If I
Yeah.
had to guess.
Has anybody here ever actually seen a SpaceX rocket launch?
Yes.
In
It's
person?
wild. Oh, not in person. But I have. I seen one at Vandenberg Air Force Base. Not a SpaceX.
So
It's a
I
regular-
went. I took my son. I have a camper van, and we decided. They announced that they were going to be sending up the first manned pilots
Yeah.
on a SpaceX spacecraft. So I took my son. I was like, "Hey, this is history. We should go and see it."
Mm-hmm.
It's so different from the way that they used to launch these rocket
Yeah.
ships. My wife grew up in the Cocoa Beach area, and she tells me that growing up, they would watch. They wouldn't even have to leave. They'd go to the beach and watch the shuttle launches, and the entire Earth would
is
shake.
shaking.
Today, it was so cool to watch because when we went and saw it, you hear it, but there's no movement. It's just a rocket that goes up super smooth. It's not like huge rocket boosters that are blowing smoke. It's like the Tesla of air travel. It's very interesting to watch. I was kind of disappointed. I was like, oh, I wanted to shake.
I want that gas to come in my face.
Yeah, exactly. But the other part was like, wow, that is so cool. Look at the innovation that Elon Musk has made and the great people at SpaceX for innovating or revolutionizing space travel.
Yeah, and by the way, the agency has said that they have to, like, guys, it's crunch time. I know Kelly put up that thing earlier where it's like it's gonna get to a point where they have 96 hours of oxygen. Because guys, they're gonna run out of oxygen at some point. All right, and NASA has said that the decision's going to come as early as Saturday to find out what the hell they're going to do with these people. And I mean, dude, think about what's at stake: NASA's reputation and Boeing. I mean, Boeing is rad. But you know what? There could be. This is a special. I don't know. None of you guys. Do you know this? Any of you guys know the significant political consequences to this? Who knows? Kelly? Any of you guys know the political consequences? Guess who was the head of the National Space Council? Kamala Harris.
Oh, yeah.
I am not Rob. Fact check.
Hold on. I
Fact
will.
check. Who is the head of the National Space Council? Obviously, she's not in charge of the rockets and all this stuff, but who's in charge? Who's in charge?
Wow. Who is the head of the National Space Council? According to, whitehouse.gov, under the leadership of its chair, Vice President Kamala Harris.
Oh, my.
The NSPC advises and assists the president on the development and implementation of space policy and strategy. Wow.
Rob,
Everything she
but-
touches. Everything
but-
she touches.
Yo, can you
We'll make the economy better.
Can you imagine this? Yo, picture Rob right now. You're an astronaut. You're just up there in space, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm on a Boeing, and then you find out Kamala's in charge. Look at Rob's face.
I'd rather have her than, I guess, Pete Buttigieg, because
Oh,
he's
no.
in charge of the trains.
Oh,
and that
he's
ain't
the
going well
worst.
either.
Well, Vinny, there is a solution for these astronauts actually who are stuck up there, and they're talking about how they need to send a SpaceX craft up there to try to get them back.
Yeah.
SpaceX already has a contract to bring the ISS down to Earth and crash it into the ocean in 2030 when they decommission it.
Oh, really?
How's that
So,
for
like,
the environment?
If they can just hold them up there until then, you can just bring them back down
Yeah,
and
just
crash
have
them
them
into
crash
the
in the
ocean.
water. Yeah. How bad is that
no,
for the-
no return? Just
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, is
crash
that
them
thing
down.
safe just to crash in the ocean?
Oh, they're cooked.
Oh, they're.
That's how wasteful the government is. That was the most expensive thing in all of history to build.
Yeah.
That's their solution for it, is to bring it down, crash into the ocean,
Yeah,
get
they
it
don't
down
give a
here.
damn. Kill all the fish.
They only built the parts on it to last for like 35 years, give or take.
Yeah.
So that's why they have to decommission it, because they need to build a whole new one because the parts are going to wear out.
Oh, man.
Who wouldn't have thought that would be a problem?
And by the way, to go back to the campaign thing, I think Trump's team should 100% use this if they haven't. Have they mentioned anything like that? Trump should be like, she's the border czar, and now she's the star czar.
Yeah, that's good.
She's terrible.
Sounds like a
She's
Pokemon.
terrible. No, I would bring it up. I'd be like, they're not going to, hey, listen. And he's like, I'm sorry. They're probably not going to make it. She's in charge.
But Vinny, think of this. Imagine Trump with Elon at the lunch for the rescue. That'd be the best campaign moment
If I was
in
him,
the history
yo,
of the world.
If I was him, I would get on a rocket ship, go up there, and just go have a podcast with them.
Yeah, here's your oxygen.
Yeah.
You're trapped in the ISS. You're running out of food and water and oxygen. You're in this little enclosed space, and then suddenly a ship docks. The hatch opens, and Donald Trump in a Tesla.
Oh
a SpaceX
my
spacesuit
God,
comes
that'd be
out.
the-
brings Trump steaks. Are you
I'm
guys
here
ready?
to help.
Do you guys think they're smashing, by the way?
Well, I was
come on.
By the way,
Guy and a
listen,
girl?
in all honesty, I swear to you, Kelly, this has been happening all day. She's my witness. I'm thinking stuff and it's coming out. I was just gonna go. I don't know if they're married or not, but at what point do you go,
think they
listen,
are.
we might die
Exactly.
here. You might die here.
Yeah.
By the way, that's a very good question. I don't know. Has anybody ever had sex in space?
Yes.
Space sex on SpaceX?
Had to have.
There's 2 reports from Russian astronauts.
Seriously?
Yeah,
That might be
unofficial
wild.
ones.
That might be
that are
wild.
allowed.
Can you imagine that you're just sitting there, Rob? You're like, what's floating? Like, guys, what are you doing back there?
I saw this. I want to show you guys this graphic, and maybe I can show it to the camera. But speaking of Elon, how cool would this administration be? Trump, Elon, J.D. Vance, RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, Vivek. How cool would that be if that was actually
Nice zoom, Kelly.
I didn't even know our
Wow.
cameras could
zoom
do that.
in?
By the way, no, that's Kelly. Yeah. That is, dude, that is so sick. So I wrote this down. So if Elon and SpaceX do get involved, and they get these people home, could you imagine the commercial for SpaceX? It's like, I had to write this down. You want to explore the cosmos? Go with Boeing. But if you need a ride back, go with SpaceX. And then just go SpaceX because round trips shouldn't be one-way tickets. Bro, if I
Wow.
was SpaceX,
Hire this guy.
I would be taking advantage of this situation. Sean here. If you want to see me and the entire Valuetainment crew, we will be at the Volt Conference September 4th through the 7th at the Palm Beach Convention Center, hosted by none other than Patrick Bet-David and featuring Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Guys, this is the place to be. If you are an entrepreneur and you want to level up, do not miss this opportunity. This is the best place to network. If you want tickets, go to thevaultconference.com. Do not waste time. This thing is going to sell out, and I will see you guys there. Peace and love. So if you like this clip, click right here. And if you want to see more like it, click right here. Stay angry, Patriots.